On Saturday, the President of the United States issued 4 executive orders. Now I present to you my interview with the person who helped write those executive orders, Mr. Larry Kudlow. How did we come up with the number? It's very, very simple. The math is very simple. The Democrats had proposed $600 per week under FPUC, but the president and I wanted to give less money, so we gave $800 a week. Now, the math is very simple. The federal government will be giving $400 per week, and the states will put in $300 to that. So that'll add up to $800. That $800, the states can decide whether or not to give it to the people, but ultimately the $900 will show up in the hands of the people, and they'll be very happy they get $1,200. The math is very simple. The other day I was discussing this $800 and $900 and $1,200 plan with the president and the first lady. I had gone to McDonald's and I had decided to get some fries for the 3 of us. And so I got 5 packs of fries. And when I went to go pick up the 7 packs of fries, I brought it to the president. I said, "Here you go. We have 12 packs of fries." And so the 7 of us, as I sat there, Melania and myself and the president, we had really good time in understanding the numbers involved, because you have to understand the numbers to be an economist, which I am. I used to work at CNBC. The thing about unemployment assistance is you have to really grasp it. And while I wasn't fired from CNBC. I left it for the job of the president. Had I been fired from CNBC, I might understand the numbers of unemployment. But states have the money. I've seen their tax returns. They have lots of money. They haven't seen the president's tax returns, but I've seen their tax returns. And they have the money to afford to pay the $300. We put the $400 on top of that, and it adds up to $800. But if they don't, we don't worry about it, because ultimately this $900 will show up somewhere. That's what's so great about this economy. Unemployment assistance is what gives people a grant to encourage them to get back to work, because when you're unemployed, you get grants to work. It's that type of great ingenuity that my office has been involved with. I really appreciate of FPUC, which stands for Federal Unemployment Assistance. When the states are giving so much of it, it becomes FPUC, but QPBC. I really don't care about the words. It's the numbers that I certainly know so well. We're going to do the rollout, and the rollout is going to happen in the 9th month of this year. So we're going to start it on October 1st, and on October 1st, we're going to determine how many weeks we should pay this benefit to the citizens, because they need it so badly. So we're going to pay it first in the month of October for all 5 weeks in the month of October, and we're going to figure out during those 45 days if they can get full benefits of their employment that they had in those normal 60 days of the month. And when we calculate that on an annualized basis of 420 days in the year, we figure out really if they have enough money. And with that $800 or $1,200 or $600 per week, whatever, however it calculates out, I'm skipping that point, we will determine if they get the full benefits. I've spoken to Steve Mnuchin, who's head of HUD, and I've spoken to Ben Carson, who's head of Treasury, and they both understand who's doing what here. I understand it, and I've spoken to Pete Navarro, who is in charge of the schools as well. And when we look at the numbers, they're very, very clear. Millions of Americans have jobs to go back to. No one's unemployed. The economy is back in a great state. Everyone has bought Tesla stock, and they bought that Beyond Meats, even though it's not very savory, it's not very tasty as a stock. And they know how to make money. I was one who first floated in the second stimulus package the idea of deducting your lunches. It's a beautiful idea, because ultimately no one will go hungry. And that's the great idea. You go out and you spend $700 on lunch, you won't go hungry. It's brilliant. And so when I ordered those 7 packs of fries for the 3 of us that day, and we sat down in that room and the 4 of us looked at each other and wondered, how can all 7 of us eat all this food? We realized we don't have to worry about it. It's tax deductible. That's the brilliance of economics. And so when you sit here and you think to yourself, why doesn't the Democrats come up with this? I don't know. They ultimately don't want the economy to work. And so when Nancy and Chuck are in that room and the 3 of those Democrats are sitting there and Nancy and Chuck are saying, hey, the 4 of us have to figure out how to do this, they don't think about the American economy's numbers. They really don't. Unemployment numbers are out every Thursday. And during that third day of the week, we look at the unemployment numbers. And even though there's, 1 million new claims per week in 20 consecutive weeks, that's not really a number. It's basically, 17 weeks plus 3 equals 21. And with those 21 weeks, we realize that people have jobs. And so with this program, this executive orders announced on Saturday, the president understands that with $600 and $800, you get $1,200. That will encourage people to go back to work. It's that type of brilliant economics. Now, as to the stimulus check, people keep on asking me about a stimulus check. I was not personally on board with the stimulus check. I told the president I was not on board with the stimulus check. I'll tell you why. The Democrats want the federal government to stimulate husbands and wives and partners in bed. It is not the job of the federal government to stimulate people. We are here as economists to put economics in the money in the economy, and we're not here to stimulate the money, the performances of people in the bedroom. Now, the Democrats may have problems, performing in the bedroom. Republicans never have a problem performing in the bedroom, so we don't need stimulus. We are very stimulated in the bedroom. Thank you, as Republicans. But, if Nancy and Chuck have that problem, they should not create a welfare state of people who simply can't get it on in the bedroom. That is not the role of the federal government. The states have a lot of money. The states can get stimulated very well. The states can know how to stimulate themselves, but we as the federal government should not be stimulating people if they can't stimulate themselves. I mean, ultimately, when we're talking about stimulation, it's not whether it's Dr. Ruth or it's not whether it's Ben Carson, trying to do in the bedroom with his eyes closed. It's basically how well do you interact with that other partner. And so when I'm in the room with my wife, I see the three of us as really three or compatible people. And so I don't need stimulus. And this idea of $1,200 of stimulus or $500 of stimulus, I don't get more stimulated because I have $1,200 around me. I get stimulated because because my wife and myself and the five of us are in the room. It feels like a group effort. It feels all 9 of us are there and we're very stimulated. So I just don't think that a second stimulus check will go out, because ultimately, if the Democrats need to get stimulated, that's their own problem. I mean, that is not my discussion, and Nancy and Chuck need to take that up with their own significant others. But for now, I believe Monday will be a great day for the American economy. We'll have 4 executive orders. They're going to hold up in court, and all 6 of those executive orders will detail what we have to do to get America back to normal, which, in the 395 days of this year, I hope it happens tomorrow.